Hello, my name is Giles Smith, and welcome to our community. Welcome, Ms. Beltrans, to be on our show today of our community.
Thank you for inviting us. Thank you for having us, Giles.
Could you tell me more about your program and how does it fit within the Department of Public Health?
Sure. Our Friday Night Live program is a project of the San Bernardino Department of Public Health's Alcohol and Drug Abuse Prevention Program, ADAP for short.
Tell me more about the Friday Night Live program.
Our Friday Night Live program is a statewide youth development program, which just means we strive to build relationships and support for our young people and within our communities to hopefully have them live healthy lifestyles free from alcohol, tobacco, and drugs. And so our Friday Night program is youth-driven, youth-led, which means our Friday Night Live youth that are in our program are really the ones who drive our program forward. They're the ones who drive the activities and any of the activities the chapter does. All the kids that are in our program have a chance to become a leader. They take on leadership roles within their chapter. They also have opportunities to organize and plan meaningful activities, all the activities that we wanted to have some type of meaning for them. And those activities can include sober prom, sober graduation, our alcohol and tobacco and other drug prevention activities. Red Ribbon Week, we also partner with our tobacco program. So a lot of activities they can plan and organize. And although the activities that they do are meant for their peers. It's easier for the kids to organize an event for their peers than as adults because they know what their peers want, they know what their peers are interested in, and so that's the reason why we use a youth development model and a peer-to-peer model. So the Friday Live youth that are in our program also have the opportunity to make a difference in their community. They do community service projects. The more they are attached to their community, the more likely they are to not vandalize it or destroy it. So we want them to be part of the community. They have an opportunity to speak up and speak out about issues related to youth. So whether it be what are the drugs that are being used on campus or what are the risky behaviors the youth are being involved in, so they get to speak up and speak out about those issues. They also have an opportunity to organize fun and recreational events because it's important that they know they can have fun without doing drugs and there doesn't have to be alcohol involved. So those are some of the other activities that they get involved in. And we actually have two levels with the Friday Night Live. We have a high school chapter, which is Friday Night Live, and then we have Club Life, which is meant for our middle schools. So regardless of what program they're in, they still get to plan and organize events and be involved in something positive. The more we believe that the more they are involved in positive activities, the less likely they are to get in trouble and to hang around with the wrong people or try and experiment with drugs. So we want them to be in our program so we have a positive place for them.
Well, how do you develop support for these programs?
We're always looking for support for not only our Friday Night Live program, but our alcohol and drug abuse prevention program. But for our Friday Night Live program, we outreach to administrators, school staff. We go out, we do presentations to them, and really talk to them about our program, about how great the program is, that it's free program, and then also the benefits about how it can impact positively their students in their school. We also go out to community events. We do resource fairs, health fairs. We hand out our literature and our information. We talk to kids and tell them, hey, this is our program. So just really by word of mouth as well. We get a lot of support by just word of mouth of kids that have been in our program, maybe teachers if they move to schools, then they take it along with them. So things like that. But we're always looking out to go out to do presentations. Any community group, any community program that wants us to come out and speak, we're more than happy to come out. So we welcome all invitations to come out to any group, any health fair, anything in the community where we can just go out and promote our program, talk to them, and let them know how great our program is.
I understand your department did a survey, and the survey, the Youth Development Survey. Can you tell me more about the results?
Yeah, our Youth Development Survey is a Friday Night Live survey that we do every year. And it actually is a statewide survey, so have all of our kids in our Friday Night Live program throughout the state take it. And it really is just to assess how we're doing in our Friday Night Live program. Are they getting the outcomes that we told them they would? Are we meeting? Are we, doing what we said we were going to do? And so we do have our results from our kids directly from our county. And 95% of our Friday Night Live participants said that they had an opportunity for community engagement. And that's important because the more that they're tied to the community, the more proud they are of the community, the less likely they are to be involved in some of the risky behavior. 98% of our Friday Night Live participants said they had an opportunity to build their leadership and advocacy skills. And so they build their skills through their chapter meetings, the activities that they organize on school, and then also in the community. But they also get a chance to build their skills at leadership conferences. We do have a youth leadership conference that's a statewide conference that we take kids to every year. And then we also have our own Friday Night Live conference that we do along with Riverside County Friday Night Live. And so the kids really get to build their skills. They go to workshops and get to build their skills that way. And then 94% of our Friday Night Live said they had the opportunity to build a relationship with their peers and adults. And that's important because the more they feel like they have friends, the more likely they are to go to school, come to the chapter meetings, to just have a good experience at school. And same thing with adults. If they build a positive relationship with the adults, again, the more likely they feel supported and more likely they are to achieve in school and later in life. 94% of our Friday Night Live participants said they had the opportunity to build relationships with their peers and also with adults. And that's important because the more they have friends, they're more likely to go to school. The more they build relationship with adults, the more likely they are to succeed and achieve in school and then also later in life as well. And then 91% of our Friday Night Live said they had the opportunity to build and practice their skills. Again, that's important because we teach them their skills and they learn public speaking and organizational skills, but they don't have a chance to practice them, then it
defeats the purpose?
yeah. So they need opportunities not only to learn their skills, but they also have an opportunity to practice their skills. And then 95% of our Friday Night Live participants said that their involvement within our Friday Night Live program, our Friday Night Live chapters and our Club Life chapters actually helped them to decide to do other things than drugs. And that's great because they're learning that, they're involved in something positive. They don't have to go out there and do the drugs or get involved in that risky behavior. So.
Well, Ms. Beltran, how can we find out more about your program?
Sure. If anybody's interested in our program, can give us a call. We have two different numbers. We have a 1-800 number. It's 1-800-782-4264, which is a toll-free number. And then they also can call our program directly at 909-387-4823.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, how can you open up a new chapter?
Well, basically, they can be opened up in schools and in the community. To run a chapter, you basically only need a couple of things. You need a committed advisor, passionate youth, as well as a safe place for these groups to actually meet and conduct the meetings.
Please tell us more about the alcohol, tobacco, and other drugs programs you have.
Well, some of the prevention activities we do include Red Ribbon Week, Above the Influence Day, No Name Calling Day, Safe and Sober Spring Break, Sober Prom, Sober Graduation, as well as Alcohol Awareness Month and Cake Butts Day. And other activities we do promote include healthy eating, distracted driving awareness, as well as traffic safety promotion.
How about some of the other programs you have to address underage drinking?
To address the problem of underage drinking, the Alcohol Drug Abuse Prevention Program, as well as Friday Night Live, work to provide information and educational resource to the community. We also work collaboratively with policymakers as well as community coalitions to support the creation of ordinances such as the Social Host Ordinance, Deemed Approved Ordinance, as well as mandate responsible beverage service and sales to alcohol retailers and their staff. In our Friday Night Live program, we provide our youth with training and education to be able to be advocates for reducing alcohol use in our minors. In addition, we are also working on a campaign called Count Me In, which encourages the community to actively take a role in reducing youth access, and we all play a role in reducing that problem.
What can people of the community do to help you?
Parents can participate in activities that promote drug-free youth, as well as educating their children. And lastly, they can also be responsible party hosts. Community members can form a coalition to create a safe and healthy community. They can support local alcohol laws. They can support vendors and alcohol retailers that provide safe and clean establishments. In addition, they can report house parties where alcohol is being served to minors. For our youth, they can drive and ride sober. They can respect the legal drinking age. They can participate in activities that are free from the pressures of alcohol and drug use, as well as really learn the facts about what alcohol is and what it does to you. And of course, last and probably one of the most important things, they can establish or join a Friday Night Live chapter in their own community.
As a founder of the Community Youth Athletic and Academic Program, the CYP, we learned quickly in 2004 that our community has some challenges. We wanted to address more concerns of the at-risk community as well as just the people. So we wanted to focus on three major things. We wanted to create a show called Our Community that was focused on education, informing our community, and inspiring our community. Thanks for being a part. I'm here today with Carol Thompson. She's the Friday Night Live coordinator for Lucerne Valley High School. How you doing, Carol?
Excellent, thank you.
Tell us more about your program and how long it's been around.
We actually started as a majority rules group here in Lucerne Valley, seeing that there was a need to be able to have a place where kids can actually feel themselves and feel comfortable and lead in drug prevention. Actually, we did the majority rules for many, many years in the community and have a lot of support from the community. And then I actually met Bernadette at a conference, and she was talking about Friday Night Live. So we went ahead and started a local chapter of Friday Night Live here in Lucerne Valley, and it has made a huge difference in our program. We've gotten a lot of support. They have helped us out with Red Ribbon Week and Living Above the Influence activities here at the high school. And so now it's a much bigger program than it was before.
Well, tell us more about some programs you have here in Lucerne Valley.
As part of our Majority Rules Friday Night Live program here, we do a lot of community service-based organizations or helping our community. Actually, today we were putting together Christmas food baskets for many of the families here in our community. With the help from the Booster Club and the elementary school. So we're looking also at putting on a disposal drug event here where people have prescription drugs that are expired, and we're hoping to set that up in the next few months.
And that's been well received here in Lucerne, correct?
Our community is definitely behind it. It's just trying to find the organizations that would be with us to be able to put that event on.
Well, do you believe your program has been very beneficial to the children of your community?
Absolutely. Although the group is kind of small, I really do think that it's been a benefit for many of the youth here. Some of them are very shy and not really outgoing, so they have the ability to get outside their comfort zone a little bit, as well as just being really supportive for those that are very confident in their choice.
And kind of opens them up and they can have some dialogue amongst their peers, etc.
Absolutely. We do a lot of activities that kind of break the ice with them. Absolutely. And we do team building, things like that.
So do you think this program should be in other schools in the high desert?
I would definitely say that this needs to be something that all schools implement in their schools. Having the ability for kids to just be comfortable and know that they have some people that believe the same things that they do in regards to drug prevention and youth leadership, and knowing that their parents will also support them in that, I would definitely suggest that this is at other schools.
Well, parental support is extremely important in these issues, isn't it?
Absolutely. We have a lot of our kids who have parent support that actually drive us to and from different activities, and they have a contract. Our kids have a contract that they sign, and the parents actually also get to sign that contract. So the parents know what they're doing with drug prevention.
Is there anything else you want to add?
That I think that our youth today, this is probably the hardest time for youth to grow up. I wouldn't want to grow up at this time, and I believe that we as adults need to be there to support them in these decisions and create conversation with them. And if anyone wants to have any suggestions on how to begin this kind of club, you can definitely contact me. And I think it's a blessed thing for everyone to be a part of.
Well, as long as we keep having active and creative parents like this young lady here, we will be better in our community. And now we're going to talk to Ashley, who's also her daughter, as well as an adult volunteer. Hello, Ashley.
Hello.
Tell me more about what you do here in the program.
As my mom said, I help with a lot of the things as the Christmas baskets, the Thanksgiving baskets, and just having the kids with game nights and stuff to open them up and have things to do instead of going out to parties.
Well, as an adult volunteer, does it bring some benefit to you when you can share your experiences with younger children?
I believe it brings, one, it opens me up to share my experience with them, but it sees that they can not go down that route, just living in this town in a small community. That's what everybody does. So then they can see that they can do other things, go other places with their lives.
So you basically help mentor them through this whole process in the difficult years of being a young person in this community, correct?
I like to think so. I like to think that I'm able to help them and do things like that.
Well, I think you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
And now we have 3 members of the Friday Night Live program here in Lucerne Valley, Carissa, Corey, and Braylon. Hello, ladies.
Hi.
So tell me why you're a part of this program.
I actually got started with this program because my best friend Corey, her mom started it when I was younger. Actually, I don't quite remember when. But I just wanted to be a part of something bigger than just me. I wanted to help and reach students, and just thought it'd be a good way to do it.
Well, why did you decide to be a part of this?
I've seen the effects that drug and alcohol can have on people's lives since I was little, and I decided that I wanted to be a part of the prevention. And also it gives me a place where I can see teens that are making the same decision as me, and they can encourage and reinforce my decision.
I just got started with this club with my sister. I'm actually a new member, and it shows that you can rely on your other students and peers to help you out.
So do you think that this program is helping youth in your community stay away from drugs and or alcohol?
Most definitely. I think it shows students that you can do things and not have to do drugs and alcohol and still have fun when you do things. And I think it holds you accountable. You don't just have to look at yourself. You don't, you have more people to answer to.
Right. So you're saying individual accountability is really important to you?
Yes, most definitely.
This program definitely put me in a position where I had to lead by example to show other people that if I want other people to follow my message, I can't just tell them, I have to show them. So it definitely kept me away from drugs and alcohol.
Do you think this program has helped youth in your community stay away from drugs and alcohol?
I do. I think it has very much because it shows you that you can still have fun and have a good time without using the substances. Being above the influence, you can still have fun.
Okay,
enjoy your youth.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Okay, ladies, last question, and probably the most important. Do you think this program is something that should be spread out over the county?
Most definitely, 100%. I think it really encourages students, and I think it promotes them. It promotes the non-drugs, not alcohol, that you can still do things and have fun and enjoy your childhood, and it doesn't have to be what normal, I guess, nowadays is. And it shows that you can have a good time, and there's people just like you that choose the same things just as you do and still have fun.
I think kids like to do what everyone's doing. They don't want to be the outsiders of the cliques and stuff. So if we make being drug-free cool, the kids would like to do that more. So it definitely should be a program at every school because it'll help prevent more.
I do 100% because I see the effect it has on me and the friends around me.
Well, thank you very much, ladies.
And here is a sneak peek of our next episode as Giles sits and talks with the ladies of A Better Way, Domestic Violence in the High Desert, on Our Community.
7 days a week. We have the shelter, we have outreach where we do classes. We have transitional housing where the women can go after they leave shelter and stay in the 24-hour transitional housing for up to 2 years. And we take care of everything. We pay their rent, their utilities, but they have to be working or in school.
How about the drug issue? Nothing?
If they do drugs, we hook them up with other agencies that specialize in that, because we specialize in DV, not drug and alcohol.
Understood.
And some do come with those problems. And when they do, that's when we get in touch with the agencies that provide that kind of help for them.
I understand that of your victims, 85 to 95% are women.
95% as of today, we know for sure. And that could be because men don't come forward. We know some men are abused. In all the years I've been doing this, we've helped 5 men. So the rest have been women. We just feel that men are probably intimidated and they won't come forward, but yeah, 95% are women and children that come to us.
Between 50 and 70% of the abusers, people who abuse, I should say, abuse children as well.
Yes.
So
That's a high percentage. They are the children are very dysfunctional. A lot of times mom doesn't realize that, and here's what she'll say, usually, most of the time. He doesn't abuse the kids. The kids don't know what's going on, but they do know.
right.
They do know. They do know what's going on because they come in, when they come to us, they're very dysfunctional. Sometimes, older boys and girls will start wetting the bed again. I've seen a little 9-year-old boy get out of his bed and get in the bed where mom is, put his arm around her to stay close to her. So we do know that it does affect the children. And a lot of times mom will say, but he never does that. But just think, if you're in that kind of situation and you see mom getting beat up, it's going to affect the children. And it does in school, in health, eating disorders. Like I said, everything comes back to the children.
Well, when you said that, I started thinking, if a son sees his mother in that situation, he's probably more likely to act that same way when he gets older.
Yes.
And if a daughter sees the mother in that situation, she begins to think it's normal.
Yeah.
That shows how he shows he loves me,
It
et
does.
cetera.
That exactly right. Children believe that it's okay. And if mom stays in it, that just gives them 100% chance of marrying an abusive man or being an abuser yourself, if they don't get the help that they need.
I understand that 1 in every 3 women,
Yes.
one in every 3 women are murdered in the United States by their boyfriend every day.
Yes.
Wow.
Years ago it was 1 in 4. Now it's 1 in 3. So we figure with education, women are getting more aware. I don't have to live in this. I can get out. Yeah. And usually he will stalk her up to 30 days is the most dangerous for her to leave. Once she leaves, and then that 30-day time period, he will stalk her, call her, try to find her, kill her,
Go to her job.
kidnap her.
Those are some of the signs you're looking for. Then.
Yes, within the 30 days that she's left.
Right. I think it's very powerful and important for a lady to know that she can actually have a place to go.
Yes, shelter.
And you need that piece of the puzzle, or they're less likely to make that move.
Very true. A lot of women don't, and then there again, years ago, women stayed because there wasn't shelters. There wasn't a lot of shelters. There were a few, but we were wide spaced out. Here in San Bernardino County, there's 7 of us. There's 7 shelters, and we're all probably anywhere from 18 to 27 beds. Some larger, depending on the area you're in, because we're, like I said, 26 beds, and then there's another shelter that is 26 beds, and then Barstow has one that is, I think, 18 beds. So we can help them, and we can move them back and forth into different areas. We move women all over the state, all over the country if we have to.
Right, just to protect them.
To get her out of the area.
Now, we traditionally talk about male-female relationships, but there are other kind of relationships.
Yes.
There are gay and lesbian
Yes.
relationships, and you help those people as well.
We do. We help them. They just don't come forward as much, and probably because discrimination.
Well, we're seeing a lot in the schools. We're seeing a lot of where the girls are hitting the boys and thinking that that's acceptable behavior, and also where the boys are calling the girls out of their name, calling them, bitch and whore and slut and things like that, and just thinking that's the norm for them, and pulling their hair or trying to control what they wear, who they talk to while they're at school, following them, sometimes asking them to miss class if they care about the relationship, things like that.
Wow. I didn't know that was that prevalent in our schools, but I guess...
Yes, it is.
Wow. Well, domestic violence is not just between men and women. Have you seen an uptick in domestic partnerships or gay or lesbian relationships as well?
We do see that. We hear about that in the schools as well. They're more open to talk about their relationships, of whether it's same sex or not. And so that is one of the things that we talk about, that they still need the education and the awareness so they can recognize.
Well, again, who are these abusers? What is the type that we're looking for?
Abusers, well, that's the thing. It can be anybody. just like a victim. They come from all walks of life, male, female. It could be the most popular kid in the school. It could be, you talking teens or are you talking adults?
Teens and adults, whatever.
Well, with teens, it could be the popular kid on campus, the prettiest girl in school. It can be your neighbor. It could be the one you work with, your coworker.
So some of the signs saying bruises or something like that, or is that, or a very outgoing person being more introverted, and that's one of the signs.
Absolutely. One of the things you see is if they normally would socialize, now they're not sociable. They will change sometimes their appearance. Maybe they come in all fixed up, and now they're more reserved. They're covering up more. If there's bruises, they're going to try to hide those bruises. They may cancel appointments with you or miss days at work. A lot of victims will call off work a lot because they don't want anyone else to see if they can't cover those bruises, should they get hit in the face or something.
What about the children? If a person, as an adult or a teen, decides to leave, what about the children? What extra stresses are they going to go through? Are they? Do you worry about their school, going to the same schools? What other thought processes should a lady take into account before she decides to leave?
Well, with teens, what we see is there is a problem with that. There's safety issues because should they decide to end the relationship, the other person doesn't always accept that. And because the relationship is based, when it's abusive, it's on power and control, they still want to have that power. And when a person decides to leave, they become more desperate and sometimes even angry and feel betrayed. Like somebody has, well, you've hurt me now, I'm going to make you pay. So we could see stalking in the schools, and also with adults, we could see them being stalked and threatened. One of the things is, the parents, if they're trying to leave, if it's an adult trying to leave an abusive situation, they will worry about now where the kids are going to go to school. They're going to have to transfer somewhere else, and it's all about getting the information, getting them so they're not missing a lot of school.
Well, one last question, at least I'm kind of curious about. When it comes down to it, this is about control, right?
Yes, it is.
If it's a male situation versus his wife or girlfriend, it's about control.
Yes, it is.
And they want to empower or dictate to another person what they can do, what they can wear, and then they lash out. Is that correct?
This is true. This is very true. And this is why people, don't always recognize when it's happening to somebody they truly care about, because they see that person in a different light. And a lot of times, whether they're going in front of a judge or they're going in front of the church or they're going in front of, their coworkers or their neighbors or even other family members, abusers can be very manipulative and controlling. And they use those tactics to make that victim feel like they have no control and they feel hopeless. Because other people don't see that abusive side always. Other people see the kind, generous, very charming, very supportive person, because an abuser is not always abusive and controlling. Sometimes they're loving and caring as well. And so without knowing that, you're like, well, I don't see what the problem is. You must have done something to make them that way. And in truth, the victim doesn't do anything to make them that way. That is who they are with their victim.
So you see those signs, they should react to it. They shouldn't wait for them to manifest themselves into a total blow up. And as Ms. Diaz talked about, you usually leave 8 times before you actually officially leave and show up here, correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's a lot of back and forth. And the family members are involved and they're trying to help them through that process, and all of a sudden...
Right, and we the difference between teens and adults, well, the number one reason why a victim won't leave is, the number one reason is fear.